It's the simplest habits, done every day, that bring about the deepest and most lasting changes in your life. While some people look for miraculous shortcuts, the ones who truly succeed are applying almost invisible habits and reaping extraordinary results. The secret isn't in doing more, but in doing it right, and doing it consistently. In this video, I'll show you 8 powerful habits that, if you apply them seriously, will completely change the direction of your life. And no, this isn't shallow self-help talk or pretty Instagram quotes. This is the real foundation behind the success of great names. Habits that shaped billionaire minds, gave clarity to leaders, and put ordinary people on the path to success. If you apply them, your life will change quickly. First habit: read every day. Daily reading was, without a doubt, one of the simplest and most powerful decisions I ever made in my life. I'm not talking about just any reading, but the kind that challenges, provokes, and expands your mind. 15 focused minutes with a good book is worth more than hours of empty distraction. A classic like The Richest Man in Babylon or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind can plant ideas that bloom for decades. When you read with intention, each page becomes a step toward personal transformation. I used to carry a book in my coat pocket. In lines, waiting rooms, or even during a break in conversation, there I was, absorbing knowledge. Reading has this magical power. It turns ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities for growth. Imagine starting the day with Think and Grow Rich and ending it with a chapter from How to Win Friends and Influence People. You leave each reading session with more than you came in with. You leave with an edge. Some say they don't have time to read, but that's just a distraction disguised as an excuse. The secret is to turn reading into a habit like brushing your teeth. Wake up, open the book, going to sleep? One more chapter. A simple routine that, over time, molds your mind to think more clearly, act more intentionally, and decide more wisely. It's like investing pennies every day and suddenly realizing you've become a millionaire in ideas. When I started, I didn't realize how much this would impact my business, relationships, and worldview. But over time, I noticed that reading was like sharpening the axe before chopping the tree. The sharper it is, the less effort you need. And with this practice, I prepared myself to face life's daily challenges with more clarity and less anxiety. A well-fed mind craves evolution, and that craving will lead you to something even more valuable. Second habit: set daily goals. For many years, I noticed that days seemed to slip through the fingers of those who had no direction. That's when I learned the power of setting specific daily goals, like programming a GPS for success. No vague goals like, I want to be better. Better at what? When? How? When you wake up already knowing what needs to be done, your mind works with focus, clarity, and purpose. It's like leaving the house with the right address in hand. I started by setting small goals, like calling 3 clients a day or studying investments for 30 minutes. These goals seemed simple, but their accumulated impact was massive. They gave me the ability to see real-time progress, even when the big wins were still far away. It's like climbing a mountain. Each step might seem small, but that's what takes you to the top. And the clearer the step, the firmer the climb. Clarity gives you strength. When you know exactly what you want to achieve before even having breakfast, you act with more energy. I've seen people write their goals on sticky notes, in apps, even on the bathroom mirror. The tool doesn't matter. The commitment does. Every completed task gives you that small feeling of victory, and the brain loves that. It's like hitting the next level button in the game of life. When I understood that great achievements were built on small repeated actions, everything changed. Instead of waiting for divine inspiration, I started acting strategically. And it was that daily consistency that brought me more results than any stroke of luck ever could. Because deep down, what separates the successful from the dreamers is the ability to turn goals into practical actions, and practical actions prepare you for what comes next. Third habit, exercise every day. I learned early on that the body is the vehicle that carries our dreams, and it makes no sense to want to conquer the world if that vehicle is always running on empty, without energy, without direction. Making physical activity a habit isn't just about having a fit body. It's about mental clarity, emotional discipline, and the strength to face life's ups and downs. Daily movement becomes silent fuel for every other area of life. I started with 20-minute walks, no expensive gyms or exhausting routines, just comfortable shoes, headphones, and a good podcast. And there I was, taking care of my body and feeding my mind at the same time. Some people underestimate this, but this simple practice helped me gain more focus at work, more patience at home, and more energy to deal with daily challenges. A still body is a still mind, and a still mind slows down progress. Over time, I realized that consistency was more important than intensity. It's better to walk every day than to run once a week and quit. The secret lies in silent discipline, that daily choice no one sees, but everyone feels in your results. A morning stretching routine, dancing in the living room, or even taking the stairs instead of the elevator. What matters is to keep moving, always. When you exercise, you're sending yourself a message. I matter. And that message echoes in your performance, your decisions, even your mood. A body in motion is a mind that's more alert, lighter, and more prepared. And when you combine this with the right habits, your growth becomes inevitable. Because taking care of your body is just the beginning. What comes next is even more powerful. Fourth habit, practice gratitude every day. Gratitude is like a new pair of glasses. It changes the way you see the world. At first, it might seem like just a nice word, but when practiced daily, it becomes an antidote to complaining, discouragement, and fear. I started by listing 3 things I was grateful for every morning. Simple things: a hot cup of coffee, a true friend, the fact that I was alive and healthy. And that changed everything. A grateful mind is not a weak mind. It's a shielded mind. When you train your brain to focus on what you have instead of what you lack, your emotional state changes. And when your emotional state changes, your posture changes. I've seen people come out of depression not because their life changed overnight, but because they began to see beauty in small victories. Gratitude doesn't ignore pain. It gives you strength to endure it. You can start with a simple notebook next to your bed. Before going to sleep, write down 3 good things that happened that day. It could be a sincere compliment, a delicious meal, or even the silence that helped you think. The key is to make it a ritual, as common as brushing your teeth. And the more you give thanks, the more reasons you find to keep giving thanks. Life starts smiling back when you smile at it first. This habit of recognizing the value in small things prepares you to see abundance where others only see lack. And when you operate from that perspective, you begin to attract more of what you desire: more peace, more opportunities, more clarity. Gratitude isn't the end of the journey, it's the fuel to keep going. And soon you'll see how it connects to something even more essential. Fifth habit, prioritize rest and recovery. It took me years to understand that resting isn't wasting time. In fact, resting is one of the smartest ways to invest in productivity. I used to work myself to exhaustion, thinking I was being more efficient. But the more I pushed, the more mistakes I made, the more impulsive my decisions became, and the further I drifted from my true potential. The body asks for pauses, and when you listen, everything starts falling into place. Resting with intention is very different from collapsing on the couch and binge-watching TV. It's about letting the brain breathe, the body regenerate, and the soul reconnect. A 20-minute nap in the afternoon, a full night's sleep, or even a weekend offline. That's not a luxury, It's wisdom. The world can wait a few hours, but your sanity cannot be postponed. It was when I began to respect my own limits that my creativity started to flourish. Ideas that once seemed hidden began to appear in quiet moments. What used to be anxiety became planning. What was fatigue turned into clarity. Strategic pauses are one of the most underrated secrets of high achievers. Those who learn to stop move forward faster and with more awareness. Today, I schedule blocks of time in my calendar just for that, doing nothing. And believe me, that's more valuable than it seems. Because when you rest, you put yourself in a position to receive, reflect, and make better choices for your next steps. And this state of mental and physical balance prepares you for something even more powerful, something that begins when you learn to truly listen. Sixth habit: listen attentively. Listening is an art that few master, but it completely transforms the quality of your relationships and decisions. For a long time, I thought listening was just waiting for my turn to speak. But one day I realized that truly listening means being fully present in the conversation. No rush, no judgment, no distraction. That's when you hear what's behind the words, the intentions, the feelings, the silent signs. I remember when an employee came to me with a problem at work. If I had answered on autopilot, I would have missed a golden opportunity, but that day, I listened with presence and realized the issue wasn't technical, it was emotional. Sometimes, people just need to be sincerely heard, and doing that doesn't just help them. It enhances your ability to lead, guide, and grow. Intentional listening also protects us from poor decisions. Think about how many times you acted impulsively, because you didn't hear every side of the story. When you truly listen, you see the full picture. Whether in a meeting, a family dinner, or a chat with a stranger, deep listening turns you into someone who inspires trust, and that, in today's world, is more rare and valuable than gold. The act of listening is a silent gift you give, and, when done with intention, that gift comes back to you as wisdom, clarity, and connection. The more you practice present listening, the more you realize how others' words reveal much about yourself. And in that process of attention and respect, you begin to develop something essential for lasting success. Something tied directly to knowing the right time to act. Seventh habit: cultivate patience. Patience isn't just about waiting, it's about what you do while you wait. I learned that real growth happens behind the scenes, in the silence, in the moments when nothing seems to be happening. Just like a seed needs soil, water, and time to bloom, our dreams and projects also have their own pace. Once you understand this, you stop sabotaging yourself with anxiety and start trusting the process. And trusting the process is a sign of maturity. I remember when I invested in a new business. The first few months were slow, with no return and full of uncertainty, but I had already learned that extraordinary results aren't born from speed. They come from consistency, so I kept nurturing the soil one day at a time. And later the results came, not because I was lucky, but because I was patient. Patience is persistence disguised as wisdom. Most people give up because they want to harvest on the same day they plant. But great accomplishments respect time. When you cultivate patience, you gain endurance, focus, and consistency. It's patience that keeps you studying even when you don't fully understand yet, saving money even before it grows, staying on track with your diet even before your body changes, because you trust that you'll get there. And the most interesting thing is that with time, patience turns into peace. You stop comparing your journey to others and start walking at your own pace. That gives you freedom. And this inner freedom prepares you for something even more decisive in your growth journey: the conscious choice of the people you share the road with. Eighth habit: surround yourself with the right people. Nothing shapes our future more than the people we choose to walk with. The influence they have is silent, yet powerful. I've noticed that when you hang around lazy people, you start accepting slowness as normal. When you're around complainers, everything seems like a problem. But when you surround yourself with people who have vision, courage, and discipline, the game changes. You start leveling up just by being near them. In my journey, I had to make tough decisions. I distanced myself from voices that dragged me down, from friendships that only talked about problems, never about solutions. I swapped circles of complaints for circles of inspiration. I started spending more time with people who read, invested, and dreamed big. Little by little, my conversations changed, my habits changed, and the results came as a natural consequence of that new environment. You don't have to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to choose wisely who influences your mind every day. Sometimes that shift starts with following mentors on YouTube, joining a study group, or getting closer to someone who's already where you want to be. The key is to connect with people who pull you forward, not those who anchor you in place. The right energy leads you in the right direction. Over time, you realize that being surrounded by the right people doesn't just inspire you, it protects you. It protects your motivation, your self-esteem, your dreams. When you align with those who share your values, the journey becomes lighter, richer, more fun. And in that environment, your habits grow stronger, your vision expands, and your life truly begins to transform inside and out. Now that you know these 8 simple habits, it's time to act. This isn't about motivation for a day. It's a commitment to your future. A life of discipline, clarity, and purpose starts with small, consistent choices. These habits are the foundation. They are the steps that lead to a new story, your story. If this content made sense to you, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share this with someone who needs to hear it today. The more people apply these habits, the more we change the world, one day at a time. Let's build a community of people who apply, grow, and transform. Your future starts now.